All right. So, DaVinci should be up now. Looks like it is, which is good. And I can move everything over now. All right. Well, here is the project timeline for this France and England trip. It is at its very beginning. I have the song queued up, which is the Stand By Me song. And I chose this song because we had a very nice clip at Versailles with us singing it, and I was able to transition it very nicely, which is very nice. And so what I'm going to be doing is just organizing some of the clips, color grading them. This isn't going to be a very technical edit as some of my other ones. It's going to be a little bit more just making sure that the clips align with the music. And this music will be very interesting to edit because it doesn't have very steady or heavy beats, which I can sometimes edit to. This one has much more instrumental music, which will just make it more interesting to solve. So with these first clips, I kind of already put them together in a way that I kind of like. The first one transitions really well with just the song. And then the video switches at the sound of the snare drum or the little shake sound, and then it transitions again to the words. And just those little audio cues are just very nice with transitioning these clips, just to get it just helps with like the feeling of the video. It makes it more smooth. Stand by me, oh stand by me. By me, oh stand, oh stand, by me, oh stand. So right now I'm just going to be organizing some of these clips and the way that I feel like would make the video more interesting. Stand by me, oh stand, stand by me, stand by me, stand by me, stand by me, by me. Stand by me. By me. Stand by me. Stand by me. Stand by me. If the sky stand by me.
by me. Stand by me. If the
Once I have these videos sort of lined up to little musical cues that I think make it nice, I'm going to then look through it all. I'm going to crop it and stabilize it and color grade it. So right now it's just like very mindless, simple work of just organizing the clips.
sky that we look upon. Should tumble and fall, although
This clip I think can use some speed it up a little bit. So in DaVinci, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go open the speed settings and make a speed point because I want at this time in the clip I want it to be normal speed, and I'll speed up the rest. Not too much though. I might actually just cut it a little bit.
should tumble should
I'm also going to play around with this retime and scaling, which if I do optical flow and then enhance any which way, it'll help with motion blur. Which it helps a little bit. Mainly it helps with slow down clips, and this is sped up, so it helped just a little bit. If I stabilize this, I can maybe just get a glimpse of it. Doesn't look too bad. I might just compromise and just edit it a little bit sooner. We'll see how that goes. That might go with the music nicely.
should tumble and should tumble and fall, tumble and fall. Or the mountain should crumble, or the mountain should crumble to the or the mountain.
With this clip, I want to end it about here, where the little
Or the mountain
forget what instrument it is, but that little sound, that little sh sound, I think has been a common tool or common place I've been cutting most of these videos when that sound plays. But this clip is just a little bit difficult because
or the
I want
mountain
to get as much of it in as possible.
should or the mountain
That might be good enough. You can always change it later with the speed.
or the mountain
I actually kind of want to change it now with the speed. So
or the
I'm gonna make, instead of speeding up the rest, I'm going to slow down the part that I do like, which is right about here. And then I'm going to try and just changing the speed with these settings instead of scaling it myself and see how that goes. Just don't want it to affect these other clips.
or the mountain
It's pretty good. I am going to then do the retimes and scaling, the optical flow, and that should help with
or the mountain
the shakiness. I'll show you guys again what it does. So here, in this yellow part, that's the slowed down version of the clip, the little slowed down part. And so that ends up making the video a bit more shaky and jerky.
All the mountain.
And just the optical flow just smoothens that out.
All the mountain. Mountain. Should crumble to the sea. Should crumble to the sea. The sea.
Mom, if you're watching this, I can hear you playing it downstairs.
I won't cry. I won't cry. No, I won't shed a tear. Just as long as you stay. Here, just as long as you stand by me. And darling, stand by me. By me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Stand by me. Stand by me.
Alright, so most of these clips are at least cut in a way that they show the best parts of the video, and so that they're easily usable. I do have a lot of clips of like Joe, because he was very photogenic, and so I want to then reorganize completely how clips go and kind of alterate the places that I show and the people that are in it. I'm just gonna do that by just mixing and matching.
stand by me. If the sky stand by me, stand by me. Crumble.
So right now, I'm just organizing clips so that they just show a variety of the places we were in the videos themselves. Just to give it some just to make it more interesting. We will be getting to more interesting stuff with the editing process. I'm just organizing them just because that's part of how I make them. So if it seems boring, it's because it is. Alright, so more or less, the clips are in a decent.
Oh, stand by me.
I will have to go and readjust them, the music, so that
Stand by me.
it doesn't sync somewhat. But right now, we're going to do some more tedious tasks, such as like color grading and stabilizing the clips, which is a very important part because good stabilized clips just make it much more easier to watch, and it makes it more digestible, and then having really shaky footage. But in order to stabilize it, I have to color grade it first, because if I stabilize it and then color grade, it gets rid of the stabilizing effect, and it's a pain to go back through. So we're going to be moving over to the color tab. This is what the color grading tab looks like. It's very complicated, and I don't understand everything either. This is basically what we're working with. This is the video clip. This is like right here's like the raw clip going into what we'll then change color wise. Like right now I can just make it really red, but I won't. And then it exports to the final product, which is what we see. So my camera shoots in like it's called log, which just makes it very gray, which then helps with color tones and bringing out more color. So we're first going to readjust the way that the clip's color is seen. And this is the raw look now. And I can just add that base. It's called the node, these little squares. And we just add that baseline edit to them. So they all look decent, but they just need a few little quick changes. So I'm going to add a new little edit space, and I'm going to go over to the curves, This is just a main portion of the image, a broad portion. I can make it darker and lighter. I'm just going to go until it seems good. And then any other changes I can change in the primaries, such as shadows and highlights. And also these color wheels can help with the color. So I can make this clip seem like more warm and like in the afternoon, make the environment seem more colorful by making it more red, or I can make it seem, I can have it make a different feeling or different aesthetic with having it be more blue. But I might stick with more greens and reds. Just mess around with what might go best. Want to make it at least a little subtle change to the color. I don't want to go too much. I feel like some clips are better of having more heavier color scheme, such as like a red or a green. But some of these just plain clips, which are like a little overexposed, kind of just need just a little bit of touch-ups with the color. And then we can get more serious with the different darks and shadows and lights. And I can see here that if I change this color wheel, I'll be changing only these parts of the image. Like now they're super red or super blue. So I'll just a little bit of tweaks. Don't want to go too far. And then that's like the basics to just a color grade. I'll go through and do each one. So this one is it's very bright, it's very overexposed. So I'll try to bring it down with the curves, which you can already see it really working. But I want to have some highlights. So that looks really nice. I'll go over and change up the color. I'll mess with the shadows too. Trying to make the greens and the building pop. I'm gonna try and make this a little bit more reddish or orange, just to give a little bit of atmosphere. Thank you, SP Marco, for the chat. Yes, it is fascinating. This light wheel I tend to not change very much because it is a big portion of the entire image, and it ends up changing it a lot, and I feel like sometimes it can be a little bit too much. Maybe I'll just do a little bit, just try it out. And if I want to get really technical, I can come over here and I can make a little gradient. Actually, if I make a new node, a new little edit space, I can add a gradient, which will then I can then have it so that only like a little bit of a side. Here, let me show you. I can then bring down the shadows a lot and the light, and then I can make one side seem a little bit darker, almost as if Like there's that very heavy shadow side to this part of the image, and then the sun is shining on the very left. Even if there was like I think that day there was lots of clouds and there wasn't much like direct sunlight, so this can make that effect like come out a little bit more with having distinguishable shadows. But sometimes I haven't mastered it yet because sometimes it can look a little bit funky. That's I just gotta play around with it. Thank you, Mom. This clip is very nice because I can really easily change the color and it doesn't look too bad on the screen. I just have to be careful about the skin tones and how I don't want them to be too red like that. So a happy medium. And then this might be a good time to actually use the gradient to try and get some little bit more reds, like there's a sunset going on. Make that come out a little bit more. So I might brighten it up, add a little bit more yellows, add a little bit more reds. I think I have 3 viewers right now at the moment, Mom, to answer your question. So I think some of them have come in quickly. I wasn't expecting too much. I didn't really like advertise it too much. I kind of just put it out there. I just thought I would try it to see if it worked well enough. So at least you're here though. That's all that matters. So then we have that color grade. I think that looks pretty good. It sometimes looks a little bit extreme. I might just go back and just readjust it. But sometimes I think it looks cool. It just gives it a little bit more feeling. this clip, I'm gonna make it a little bit more blue because we're inside, and I just thinking that every once in a while giving a clip like a different main color, like switching between oranges and blues, just gives it just that change in visual color. It just makes it more interesting. I feel like if it was all red and blue, it'd seem unnatural, and it just it's a complementary color, so it just goes with each other. I just don't want it to seem unnatural, which I could try going to this qualifier, getting some of the skin tones and readjusting them. It helps a little bit. I don't want to go too far so that it seems unnatural with the rest of the video. Well, that doesn't look too bad. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to look interesting. Alright. So now we're going to move on to the next clip. This will be interesting because there's not a lot of sunlight, which makes the image kind of dull color-wise. And I think that means we're going to have to just boost up a different color, like the oranges, which might make it seem unnatural with the gray clouds, but we'll see if we can make it work. Maybe I want to go with more green. Greens and blues might seem to be working, so I'm going to keep going with that.
Stand by.
That looks nice. Next clip, there is a lot of harsh lighting, which should be good for an edit. Increase the shadows. I can do that right away. Mess around with it, see what looks cool. Bring up the highlights. There we go. That helps boost some of the lighting. And then with the curves, we can really make those shadows pop and that light seem a little bit more harsher. I feel like just making the light either come out a little bit more or having the shadows be a little bit darker just helps with the image being a lot less gray, which I think is kind of like annoying to the eye to watch. And then also with just boosting the color, it really helps. So actually, I don't need a new node. I can do it right in here. I'm gonna go with the more red tone this time because it looks like it's a hot day. A little bit more. And switch it up. Have a little bit more purple in the light with the lift, and then the gamma. Have a little bit more yellow. That looks nice. And then with the color wheels, can really change the fine details. Make the shadows a little bit blue, a little bit darker. Yes, Donald, you can share the link. I believe so. I'm pretty sure it's a public stream, so if you want to, you can. I'll just be editing away. These shadows, there's a lot, so that'll affect a lot of the image. Blue doesn't look too bad too, but I'm thinking red's the way to go. Yeah, definitely a little bit orange. That looks nice.
Stand by me.
Now with this clip, it's a lot darker at times, so I might want to edit for that. This might be a challenge because of how quickly the exposure changes. So I'll try and make everything a little bit more simpler and not go too harsh on it, because that's super dark. But that's sometimes just what you get with the videos.
If the sky.
That's not too bad. I kept the image a little bit more blue, and the harsher shadows towards the end of the video. Just have to deal with it. The rest of it looks pretty nice.
If the sky. That we look upon.
With this clip, there's a little bit more heavy sunlight due to it being around noon at the time, which makes for that lighting to be way more noticeable, and the exposure levels are much higher, which it just makes it easier. I feel like bringing the exposure down is a little bit easier than bringing the exposure up, because when you bring the exposure up in the editing software, you tend to get a little bit more grain. And then, like, if I have to, like, bring the shadows up in a more exposed image, it makes it a little bit easier because everything else is brighter. I'm gonna keep things more yellow and orange for this video, for this clip. balancing out the heavy orange light that I just made with kind of darkening these shirts and these dark parts, these shadows, making them more blue. Just adds a little bit of contrast. Thank you, Rivers, for the comment. Very appreciated.
Should tumble.
Here's another video with some very harsh lighting, which will be, I think, easier to edit. I can bring down the shadows by a lot. Here, for the shadows part of this color wheel, you can see that what I'm going to be changing is a lot of the skin tones. And I don't want to make it too red, because then it'll look unnatural. But making it kind of too blue will like kind of go against my my orange sunlight that I kind of want, because I feel like an orange would be better with the sunlight clearly in the frame. So I don't want to make anything seem unnatural, but I want to keep things making things look cool. Just not too cool with like the blue. I think that's good. And then like the light, and that affects everything. So that would be kind of interesting, but I don't feel like that's the vibe I'm going for. I want things to be a little bit more natural. And I'm kind of getting bored of the color grading, and I have way too many clips to do. So right now might be a good time for me just to go through and stabilize some of them and crop them. Like this one's very good. So we're going to try with stabilizing them using DaVinci. Oh, crops a little bit. We might just have to adjust in here. I'll move myself down here. And you can see this is the stabilizing settings. I have the cropping ratio, the smoothness, and the strength, along with other modes like this perspective and similarity and translation, which when stabilizing, it all kind of depends on the video. You know, perspective is kind of keeping the camera focused on what it thinks is the perspective or the subject. I think similarity, in translation is more for like heavily stabilized shots, you know, shooting shots on a tripod and shooting moving objects. But I tend to keep perspective because I'm usually on the go moving with my camera. So if I undo the strength a little bit, it'll give me a little bit of the cropped image back. And then I can always increase the smoothness. Kind of just gotta mess around. Or restart. I feel like restarting wouldn't be bad. kind of just got call it quits when I know that I can't make it any more smoother, and I think it's fine.
By me, oh, stand. Oh, stand. Oh, stand.
When stabilizing clips, sometimes I gotta be careful of the visual warp. You can kind of see here, especially with zooming in, you have that little bit of warp right there. If you look at the background, it kind of moves around naturally. And it kind of like shivers a little bit. And I want to get rid of that as much as possible. Sometimes like sometimes there's nothing I can do about it. And it's not too noticeable when it's like the subject that's warping due to like my camera getting shooken a little bit or shaked. Then that's when I have to. But I don't think it's too bad. I didn't do half a bad job at them videos.
Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me.
That was a very good video. Stabilizing.
If the sky
That's good.
that we look upon, should tumble and fall,
Alright, that's about where we stopped with
or the mountain.
I don't want to go any farther with the stabilizing because then it will get rid of it once I color grade it.
By me, oh, stand by me, stand by.
For edits that aren't necessarily consistently going to a certain beat with the song, I sometimes can't cut. I sometimes let some of the videos being cut. I sometimes let the videos get cut in between like a non-beat. That works. It's there. I'm not really going. I can see your messages. You don't have to donate. And anyways, this clip kind of just goes well. There's a little bit of a rise in the music, which just makes it a little bit more smoother, even if I don't have a noticeable beat change in the music.
Stand by me, stand by.
But for everything else, I do try to have an audio cue with the transition.
If the sky that we look upon should tumble and should,
So I am going to line up
should,
this clip with this little sound,
should tumble
and that looks very nice.
and fall, or the mountain should crumble to the sea. Sea. I won't cry. I won't cry.
Hello everyone, I see you guys' comments. Welcome to the stream.
Stand by me. Oh, stand by.
Alright, let's get to color grading again. Keep going with these colors. Let's do this clip of Joe smiling. Just so that you can see the edits, I'm going to move myself. There we go. This clip has some harsh lighting, but it's nice that it's towards the side. Makes it more interesting to look at, and I can increase the shadows and change the color. And then maybe a blue might go well with Joe's leather jacket. And that looks pretty good.
Should tumble and fall.
This next clip is directly in the sun, which we'll see how that changes the color grade. Because bringing up the brightness by any little bit will make the image overexposed very easily. So I might increase the shadows by a lot. I don't want to make it too gray like it is right now here. I want it to be bright enough.
Or the mountain.
That's not bad. I'm feeling blue is another good color for this again. Maybe a little bit more purple. Yeah, that would be interesting. And then this next clip, a lot of greens, a lot of shadows, so we'll have to bring up some of the brightness. Some of the shadows, and shadows are very easily darkened. Some of the shadows, like the reason why they're so dark in here is due to the color space transform, which was the settings over here. If I change it back, the shadows kind of balance out. They don't become so dark. But with this color space transform, it brings out the color, but it kind of keeps the shadows very dark. So we'll just have to brighten them up a little bit. Increasing the highlights help. And the shadows. Right, there we go. That looks much better. And keeping with the green theme. Keep it more earth tones. That's not half bad. So this clip, the ceiling is a little bit more darker than Joe here, who has some light on this side. So I don't want to darken the shadows too much so that we can't see the paintings on the ceiling. But I want to make sure that nothing's overexposed. And add some color. Not too much, because I kind of like the color on the ceiling. I don't want to take away from that. I'll just try my best to kind of boost those colors. Seems like a little bit too much. I just leave it the way it is. Doesn't look too bad. Thank you for the heart emojis in the chat. Much appreciated. Here I'm trying to make the orange tones not too vibrant, just enough to highlight the frame. So if I go too much, then the shadows kind of break out with the orange. I think that's very nice though. Simon, start clip farming. Well, I am farming the clips, so if that counts, then there you go.
I won't cry. I won't cry.
This clip is a little bit more in the shadows, which makes the shadows more easily to adjust. I don't want to go too dark with them, so I'll bring a little bit more light, overexpose the image a little bit more. And orange might be the vibe for this. A little bit of orange looks decent. Complement it with some blue. Yeah. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have these shadow parts be a little bit more blue hue, and make it so that the rest of the image is just a little bit more orange, a little bit more brighter. And like I really like right here, like the blue kind of shadow of the shirt with the orange light from the little bit of sun. Just complements each other very well. you guys have any questions about editing, drop them down in the chat below. I'll be happy to answer them. Get a conversation going. Because this is kind of just doing the same thing over and over again. But that's part of color grading. How can we become as cool as you? Well, short answer, you can't. I'm just sorry. It's a very high level of just Origane, but you know, not everyone can be like me. It's a struggle too. Here with this image, we have very bright greens behind the subject Joe, and Joe's in the shadows, and that's kind of making it just a little bit difficult with the shadows, because I want to bring the image a little bit brighter, but I don't want to make the background overexposed. I'll see if I can work something out, get the image to be what I want. I'm thinking keeping it a little bit more green. I actually might make this high dynamic range color wheels a little bit more green, just because they affect a little bit less of the image. That looks nice. Shadows, then I can make them a little bit more orange, have them have that little bit of sunlight texture as if the sun is shining or bouncing off something, brightening the image the way it is now. And then I can go back. And these wheels seem to be a little bit more broader with what they change in the frame. So this helps just balance out anything that was too much on the other scales. And that looks good.
Shed a tear just as long as you stand.
I think it looks fine. We'll keep going. This clip is very overexposed.
Stand by.
Doing just because the camera was probably just set incorrectly, and the sky was just full of clouds, making the sky seem very white.
Stand by.
But it doesn't affect the image too much.
Stand by.
I can kind of just leave it the way it is because it looks fine. I don't need every clip to be like the main color to be one particular. I can just have it be a normal video. With this clip, Joe was heavily in the shadows, and I'm just bumping up it a little bit too much, almost on the edge of being overexposed, but that's okay. Thank you for the love and support in the chat. Means a lot to me. That looks like...
And darling,
color really pops that red building right there. This is what it looked like. This is what the original clip looked like. If you just wanted to know, like, this is what is coming out from the camera as I'm recording it. And so just adding the color space transform effect and having the right settings, it then brings the color to be a little bit more natural for what the camera would capture. And then with it being coming out this gray color, I can then make the colors really pop like it is right now here. And so that gives me a lot more ability to edit these images and have the colors come out so bright. This video will seems like it'll be very nice. The shadows seem not to be too overexposed, and the sky, well, it is overexposed. I don't see that too bit much as a problem. I think it's fine. The main subject wasn't the sky either. It's more just a nice background. Thinking orange might be a nice color though. A little bit of orange, a little bit of blue. Really putting the blue into those shadows of the shirt. So I'm going to scale it back a little bit though, so that there's a little bit of orange over here with the arm and the stones, and the shirt's very blue. I'm thinking there's a lot of green, and it wasn't exactly, there's not a lot of visible, there's not a visible light source within this clip right here. So it doesn't exactly make sense to make it orange. I feel like when you can see light, whether it's like on a building, such as like this scene, where you can see the harsh light on the building, then that makes it a little bit more, makes more sense to the eye why it should be orange. Because the sun, sometimes the sun can sometimes be orange, and then you think that the light is orange, and it makes the image a little bit more aesthetic. But with these clips, when there isn't the sun involved, I think I kind of tend to go more towards the blue, the cooler colors. There's a lot of green. I don't want to make it too green because then that affects the other colors. But I can at least add a little bit of hints of green. I'll try to keep it blue though. I might add a little bit of reds to these parts just because they're closed, so it just kind of fights the green. But I don't want to do too much where any one color overpowers the other. For this color grade, I want to keep things green here. This might be a good good edit to have a gradient wipe or a gradient, this gradient tool, and add a little bit of green and see what that does. So what I'm going to do is really boost those greens. There we go. Now, this video isn't overflown with the green or anything. The shirts are red enough, the jeans are blue enough, but there is a nice vibrant green coming from the background. With help from the gradient wipe, this little gradient tool.
Whoa.
This is going to be my last color graded clip, and then I'm going to go through and stabilize the ones I already did.
Now.
Alright, now to go through and stabilize some of these clips. I'll start with where I ended.
Should crumble to the sea.
Most of these clips are looking good for being stabilized. Well, this one is a little bit too zoomed in.
I won't cry. I won't cry.
So I might just have to leave it alone. Come back to it later.
I won't cry.
It is very shaky. You can see like there's a lot of visual warping right here, and that doesn't always work well with the stabilizing. There's not much I can do besides just like have a very light stabilizing effect on it.
No, I won't.
Like right there. I don't like that.
No, I won't.
There's a little bit of wobble, a little bit of warp. I'll try and smoothen it out.
No, I won't.
Some of it is in camera. I just can't fix it.
No, I.
If you guys ever get tired of this song because of me, well, I'm sorry. A lot of editing is listening to the same part of one song over and over.
No, I won't. No, I won't.
A while, but it's for the edit.
No, I. No, I. No, I. No, I won't shed a tear. Shed a tear just as long as you stand.
Alright, that video looks good. I had to decrease the strength of it, which helped with some of the warp effect.
Stand by me. And darling, darling.
That's not too bad either. If I make it really smooth, it really zooms it in, which means I can just decrease the strength.
And darling, darling, stand.
This works really
By
nice.
me. Oh,
I might want to smoothen it a little bit. I
stand
wanted this clip
by me. Oh, stand.
Everett's arms.
Stand by me. Oh,
It's not too bad. I don't mind it.
by me. Whoa,
And some of these clips might just have to stay a little bit shaky.
stand now,
I'd rather have
stand by me.
but shaky than stabilize it and have it way too zoomed in where you can't even enjoy it.
Stand by me. Stand by.
All right. So I got more than halfway done with color grading and with organizing the clips. I at least trimmed them down, so now they're a little bit more easier to work with. I'm going to now end the live stream. If you guys have any last questions, feel free to pop them in the chat. This edit is definitely not done. I also have to work on it a little bit more, but it's a start. Usually my videos can be a little bit more technical with the effects. This is a lot more just color grading it and just organizing the clips so that they fit with the song, which I enjoy. It's very nice. This edit will be a lot more calmer and really just enjoy the videos more than enjoying the editing. But both are being utilized, the editing and the footage. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. This was a lot of fun. This helps me work a little bit more. I'm now going to end it. I hope you guys have a good night, and see you guys next time.